Hello everyone, I hope you're good guys. Today new tutorial about how to make kind of industrial synth, kind of modular synth sound style. So yeah, just let me show you. I've made different examples that I've done with the same rack, and it's a very versatile rack. So I'm just gonna play with you all the different kind of sound you can get with, and after we'll go in detail about the rack. So that's all the kind of sound you can get just with this rack. So it's, yes, let's dig into. So I basically use operator and the frequency shifter. That's the two main element. One thing's important as well, obviously, because it's a synth, it's dry, there is no effect, so always put a bit of, maybe I haven't even put saturation or echo, and just delay, reverb, saturation, standard stuff. So that's when you play it, that's the basic synth. And let's dig into it. So basically how it has been made, I use this algorithm of operator, and basically you have the yellow one, which is oscillator A, which is just some noise. Let me mute this. Yeah, because it's always nice to have this noise texture and this kind of sound. And then you have B, C, and G, which like basically G modulate C, oscillator C, who is modulating oscillator B, and now how you're gonna get the things interesting. So I use a square waveform here, but you can choose any waveform you want. I just found it great at the beginning, and then what we're gonna do is basically applying FM synthesis, and with these two macro, FM1, FM2, FM1 correspond to the level of oscillator C, and FM2 of oscillator G. And yeah, then we have as well the filter, which is basically a low pass filter who is emulating the MS-20 with an envelope, and you can control the cutoff, and then you can control as well the decay if you want something a bit pluggier. Even you can control the attack, and this is as well controlling the envelope amplitude of the noise oscillator and from the synth oscillator. Alright, so let's see what FM1 do basically. So it's gonna add some oscillator C level, and the more you add level, the more you get this kind of FM sound. And what is really interesting as well with that is like whatever note you play is gonna vary sound different, especially from one octave to another, and the more you add the FM and the wider it gets. So that's very interesting, but that can be as well, you have to be careful because the pitch will not always be the one you play the note. And yeah, so it's really, you have to be very like careful how you handle this, because just the slightly modulation can completely change the sound. one thing which is important to know is like if you let this one at 0, this one will not have any action, because basically it's like a chain of oscillator, like in this way. So if you cut down the middle one, the top one won't work. All right, so once you got this macro, which is ring, which is basically controlling this frequency shifter, which is in ring modulation mode, and it's just get this industrial kind of vibes. So this first 30 Hz, it's like nothing really effective, but then it starts to you really have to experiment until you find something you like. Then you have this macro modular FX, which is basically controlling the amount of LFO, and basically the LFO is controlling the pitch of all of the oscillator and the filter with the sample hard waveform. So which means like it's gonna slightly change the pitch. So I really recommend to go slightly with that, and you're gonna see even if you play the same note, you will have a kind of detuned pitch. Like the note will be like slightly detuned, slightly pitched in a different way every time you press the button. If I put more, you're gonna understand. Alright, I was playing exactly the same note and the pitch was changing. And yeah, that's really nice. If you just put a little bit like this, even if you play the same note, it will always sound a little bit different. And yeah, so attack decay filter to control, and then a pitch envelope. This is even if you want to have a different kind of yeah, just play with, and I will always recommend when you find something you like, don't touch anymore this gray macro, like the dark one. Just play with the attack decay filter, because you're gonna get something very different otherwise. And keep in mind that it's whichever note you play, it's gonna really sound different from one octave to another. So yeah, I found this one interesting, and I can just play like this and just, yeah. Until you find something. And the cool thing with this track as well, you can really make your own. I mean, like, you can really change the waveform if you want, even go further, put and change maybe the course of the. Let me just remove the ring. And yeah, like this, you can really really get different kind of. You can even play after with some modulation. Yeah, it's so, because of the synth is very versatile. Like a slight, if you change just slightly a parameter, it's completely get something different. It's interesting in the way that you can quickly get different stuff, but it's very dangerous as well in the way like you can easily lose something quickly by just modifying one parameter. So yeah, you have to be really careful with that. One thing as well, if you want even to make it sound more kind of industrial, percussive, noisy, I really recommend to add a pedal on top of your rack. And you know, you, for example, with this fuzz, and you see you get this nice, very distorted kind of sound. Yeah, it's really up to you to modulate how you want. So I'm gonna put the link for the rack in the description. I'm gonna put as well all the presets with all the MIDI. Just I'm not gonna add the saturator and echo and the reverb. It's just echo and reverb basically. You can just put you on and yeah, have fun with the rack. I hope you like it, guys, and do not hesitate to make your own, to go further, modify stuff, add pedal, modify the pitch. Yeah, just feel free to make it your own way. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye, guys.